Welcome back. In this second video on U.S. Special Rules, I'm going to go over U.S. Special Rules for their transport and a few rules for their infantry. So what we've got is this transport comes up, and it is carrying this platoon of infantry. And we're going to pretend that this has an anti-aircraft machine gun on it. So they're being transported in this vehicle, and they decide they dismount. Okay, you can dismount as normal, they get to move out of there. But one of the things USA can do is they can take any of the passenger-fired weapons with them. So if this had a passenger-fired anti-aircraft machine gun, you can take that machine gun off, and this infantry that took it off is now going to become a light machine gun crew for this platoon. So you basically are going to replace this infantry team with the light machine gun team. Now, if this had a 50 caliber anti-aircraft passenger fired machine gun, it's going to become a 50 caliber team, M250 caliber team. So depending upon which weapon's on here, you can take it off and give it to one of the infantrymen, and now they become a gun team that's part of this platoon. The bad part will be is once you take the passenger fired weapon off the vehicle, you can no longer use this vehicle for the rest of the game. It's sent to the rear, and then that's it. It's done and gone. Now, we've got this situation. This is part of one platoon. These guys are riding here, the commander's here, and these guys, do this, are riding there. Oops, want a regular guy. Here we go. Okay, so this is who's riding what. He's riding in the Jeep. These three are riding in this. And this has a 50 caliber anti-aircraft machine gun, and this has a 50 caliber anti-aircraft machine gun. Well, you've got a choice. When they dismount, do you want this command team to take that 50 caliber machine gun, and then they become a 50 caliber stand, but they still remain a command team, but they're also a gun team now? Or, put that back, you can have one of these, take that out, and now they become a 50 caliber machine gun crew. Or you can do both. And remember, this will stay a command team. Once you take, and I'm going to do this, put this one back. Let's say we only took that one off. Once you decide to take one of the passenger fired machine guns off, all of them are sent to the rear and not coming back. So once you decide that you're going to take a weapon off this vehicle, you better decide then and there how many you want, because you're not going to get these back. So that is one of the options you could do, is when they dismount, they can take the passenger fired weapons with them, and you replace them with the appropriate model. And the rules say if you do not have the appropriate model, you cannot do this. So make sure you have the correct model, that when you replace it, people know what's going on there. So that is them dismounting from a vehicle and taking the weapon from the vehicle. Now we got a situation where this platoon is out here, and actually they've got, it's a 50 caliber platoon, and I'm just going to throw this as their commander. So they bring their transport up, and they jump into the transport. Well, because these were, and it could be the 50 caliber or the light machine gun, they can jump in and attach their machine guns to the side of the half track. Then they can start firing as passenger fired machine guns. That's pretty cool. So not only do they get to run around, But they also can shoot still. And their rate of fire will not drop because they're moving. So now you're thinking, ooh, that's great. Now remember that just like they have a facing, only what's in front of them they can shoot, these have a facing also. Only what's on the side that machine gun's on can shoot. So it's almost like that. They can shoot this direction. The ones pointing this side can shoot only that direction. So if something's like right in front there, they're not going to be able to shoot it, which the model has to be pretty small to do that. So this one's going to shoot this way, and this one's going to shoot this way. So, you know, being a machine gun like that, they're going to get 3 shots each. And again, it doesn't matter whether you put the 50 caliber there or the light machine gun. And you're thinking, ooh, I get 3 shots this way. I get 3 shots this way. If they happen to be a base like this that's on both, look at that. It's going to hit both. I'm going to get 6 dice at that. No. Just like with tanks, you get your full rate of fire for your first machine gun and 1 die for each additional machine gun. So you're only going to get 4 dice. So you're going to have to decide, do you want 3 dice on this side and 1 die on that side? Or 3 dice on this side and 1 die on this side? So that's your choice on that. But it's a nice option when you take your machine gunners and you have transport for them, throw them in there and they can still shoot. They can run around the game with this and shoot around. So these guys have moved around. They're ready to dismount. They do not dismount as riflemen. Remember, riflemen can dismount and take that passenger-fired machine gun and start using it and become a gun team. What the gun team is going to do is dismount, and they're going to take their weapon with them. So you're back to what you originally had. And they can use this again because this weapon was not bought with a transport. Remember the other time when the infantry took it, that was part of this vehicle. They added it to the vehicle when they're in there, and then when they left, they're taking it with them. This can go to the center rear. You can bring it forward again in your next turn and use it again, and these guys can hop on and attach their weapons and stuff like that as usual. Now, if while they're riding around, this gun team gets killed, well, it's removed. You've lost the machine gun on that side. So you're left with the machine gun on this side. And if they get killed, well, there's no more weapons, because when this team is killed or destroyed or whatever in the game, the weapon is also destroyed. And, of course, if they dismount, they're going to take the weapon with them also. So that's what I've got on USA special rules with their transport. It has to do with passenger-fired weapons, and they can take it and become that a gun team, but that means you're not going to be able to use this for the rest of the game. And if they are like a machine gun, a light machine gun, or a 50 caliber, wherever, when they get on a half track, they can decide to attach their weapon to half track, and then they can still shoot and move around. Alright, let's get to movement for troops. Alright, USA has a special rule with their rifles, and that is called automatic rifles. So if we look at an arsenal here under infantry, you can see it says automatic rifle, and this rifle machine gun team, they'll have automatic rifles too. All of these will have automatic rifles, even the bazooka team, because remember, they can shoot a bazooka or as a rifle team. What does a rifle team have? Automatic rifles. The same thing with these gun teams here. So instead of, if they're being assaulted and they can't shoot their gun at what's assaulting them because of the line of sight issue or, you know, the arc of fire, well, these gun teams can also shoot as rifle teams. So they're going to shoot as automatic rifles. Well, automatic rifles, like most of them, will give you 1 die. So each, I'm going to scoot these back so I can get the dice on here. So each of these will get 1 die to roll for their attack. That's great. They didn't move. They get 1 die. Now, if Germany's rifle teams move, well, they're a one-shot weapon, being bolt action. They're going to have to add 1 to the difficulty to hit. With automatic rifles, whether you move or not, you get 1 die. No added +1. So whether they stayed here or they moved, they get 1 die. And you don't add that 1 for being a one-shot weapon. That's really nice. So you don't have to worry about, oh man, my rate of fire is going to drop. It's going to be harder to hit the opponent now. No, American rifle, you can run around, get that same rate of fire and the same chance to hit. There's also another bonus they get for automatic rifles. And when they do not receive this bonus is when they are pinned down. So if they are pinned down, they do not get this ability. So we're going to say they are not pinned down. And the Germans are coming in to assault. So here comes Germany. They shot him. They didn't do enough to pin him. They're coming in. So they're ready to do their assault. So the Americans here get defensive fire. Well, they're going to get 4 dice. That's not going to be enough to stop them. But these guys are trained, so America needs 4s. And, ooh, they hit twice and missed twice. But wait, these are automatic rifles. They are not pinned. They get to re-roll the misses. Whoop. Now they hit 4 times. Oh, each one of these is going to have to make their 3+ save. So, being automatic rifles not only gives you that non-penalty for moving. They don't get that penalty. But if they're not pinned and they're assaulted and they're doing defensive fire, re-roll misses. So let's see what happens here. He lives. Oh, that one dies. That one lives. And that one lives. And that was one of the re-rolls, I believe. So one team got taken out from that re-roll being in there. So that's what automatic rifles give you. All right, the last thing I want to talk about with USA Special Rules on this video, and it has to do with infantry again, is what's called the Truscott Trot. And what this will apply to is, it'll apply to your infantry teams, and it'll apply to man-packed gun teams. Not just gun teams, it has to be that man-packed gun teams. So, like this machine gun platoon here, or this infantry infantry team platoon here. Well, when you normally move your men, they can go 6 inches. I mean, unless there's something like a staff team or something like that, which moves 4 or something, moves a little faster. Normally, your infantry and man-packed gun teams are going to move 6 inches. Okay, you know that rule. Well, also, when your infantry and man-packed gun teams move, they can move at what's called at the double, which is basically double their movement rate. So 6 doubled, it becomes 12. So they can go 12 inches. So this can move way up there. And then, of course, we mark it. And remember, when you move at the double, you can't go through slow going, difficult terrain and all that. You kind of have to go around it, just like tanks do. So the same thing applies to infantry when they're moving at the double. Well, that's really nice. Well, American forces have what's called Truscott Trot. And they moved 12, right? They were here, started here, they moved 12. Well, what Truscott Trot does allows them to move 16 at the double. So they're going to be moving, I don't even think it's going to be on the screen. Barely, the last group. So you're going to get 4 more inches on your movement than a normal, like German. They can run. They can only go 12 inches. These guys, Americans, get to run at the double at 16 inches. But remember about the terrain, how it can slow you down. And always mark when you move at the double. It's going to be very important. So that is really a nice move if you need to get across the battlefield quickly. You know, as long as you can hide yourself behind some terrain that's going to be a little harder to hit you. You remember, your opponent's going to get double dice at you for moving at the double. But 16 inches, you're moving as fast as a light tank movement rate. You're moving faster than a tank's normal movement rate for a standard tank, which is 12. But of course, you're moving at the double to do that. So that's all I got for this video. The next one is going to be over USA artillery special rules. So until next time, have a good game.